Welcome to your Daily 5 for Tuesday, November 21st, 2023. The days of the mom and pop VHS store may be long gone, but you can still get a little bit of the flavor of what that used to be by looking around at movie posters and making your watch decisions based purely on the artwork, because that was one of the big appeals of the VHS store. So I saw a film called Crime Zone from 1989, which has a cover that is right out of, well, it feels more like 1985, but it is definitely an 80s cover. And it's just what looks like a typical post-apocalyptic dystopian type of film, which is exactly what it is. I didn't really read much about it in terms of reviews or even what the story was, but I saw that cover, I thought it looked great, and I noticed that Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks was in it, so I thought, okay, I really haven't seen her in much else, so I'd like to watch something with her. The other individual who was in it, Peter Nelson, I looked at his filmography after I watched it. I don't think I'm familiar with him. I thought looking at his face that maybe I knew him for something else, but then again, he's one of those people who looks like a lot of people. And one of the other big names you'll notice if you look at the IMDb listing is David Carradine. Yes, one of the world's foremost belt enthusiasts before his passing. And as I kind of guessed, this is a movie where he's in it for a very small amount of time. Although, I have to say, unlike a lot of films from around this period, especially lower budget ones, where he appears to be at least partially inebriated, he's actually really, it looks like he's pretty sober in this, and he's playing the part pretty straight. So I don't know if that's really true or if he just had it more under control in this movie, but I was pleasantly surprised that he wasn't basically 1 inch away from stumbling through his performance. But he is not in it that much, so don't expect to see a whole lot of him. He really comes in about the second half of the movie, and even then he's in and out, although he does get some of the best exposition of the entire film. And it's a pretty straightforward plot. This is not something you haven't seen a variation on before. Peter Nelson and Fenn play Bone and what is her name? I can't remember what her name is. No, not Diana. Anyway, whatever. They play 2 people who are far down on a tiered class system in a future where there are 2 countries at war. I don't even know if the countries are supposed to be American or not. You would assume that by the accents, but who really knows? And people are divided into different tiers. And obviously the people at the bottom of the tier, although the movie doesn't seem to know which side of the numbering system the bottom is, it kind of flip-flops here and there. But in any event, the people who are at the lowest have no real expectation of making it further up, and the people at the top live a much better life, or so we see from what we see of it. It's not like there's a lot of world building in this movie, so, then that's to be expected. I have to say, though, for its budget and for some of the reviews you'll see, it's a much better looking movie than you might expect. I actually thought a lot of the sets and scenes were filmed pretty well. I mean, it's obviously or pretty clearly all downtown LA at night, but it's used really, it's a good looking movie. For what it is and for what its budget reportedly is, it is better looking than you would expect. This story, again, is straight out of any dystopian novel or other movie you've ever seen. Nothing really surprising or shocking here. The performances are fine, except for the one, I don't remember the actor's name, I think is Michael Shaner. I might be getting that wrong. His character, Creon, is extremely over the top, and I can't tell if it's because he's just not acting all that well or if it's meant to be that way, so he is almost a distraction. It feels like it's from a different film. Everybody else is fine to good. Again, Carradine is actually really good in it, and I was entertained by it. I thought it was actually a fairly good movie, although, and if you listen to the Friday show, I have not warned Lando at all about this. One of the funniest lines that I've ever heard in a film of this type, I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You'll hear it in the Friday show, so there's a little bit of a tease. Even my wife laughed at this one. I mean, when I capped it, I must have laughed for 3 or 4 minutes straight, because it's all in the delivery and the dialogue. There's some really terrible dialogue in this, but there's also good scenes. It's a very variable film. But like I said, in terms of the looks, the direction, cinematography, it's actually really good. I actually thought that it was above what I was expecting out of what I think was I'm pretty sure Roger Corman was in there as a producer. And, look, it's not going to be a underground gem that you will say, oh, people should see this. This is something that people are sleeping on. But it's more entertaining than you probably would expect from who's making it, when it comes from, and who's in it. You might expect it to be worse than it is. So I would say it's worth watching. Might not ever watch it again, but it's fairly entertaining for what it is, and it goes by quickly. So again, 1989 Crime Zone. If you like these types of movies, this is a pretty good one. Later.